Hello, everyone. My name is Adebayo Adegbite On from Arts Connect Africa. And this is another edition of the Arts Connect Africa Industry Conversations. Over the past few months, we've been having conversations with people from all over the world. We've had conversations with people in Africa. Now we are moving to the international series. I will be having conversations with people from Latino America, and they've been telling us about the projects they are doing and what they are working on. So my name is once again Adebayo Adegbite, and I'm here with Daniel Manjarres from Preta in Brazil. So Daniel, It's nice to have you around. It's nice to have you on the industry.
Thank you so much.
Again. So of course, the first question will be, what kind of cultural initiatives does Preta Hub get involved in? What drives these initiatives? Like, what is the motivation, and how does it work, really? Just give us an insight into what Preta Hub does and how it works.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this invitation. It is very important for an organization like Preta Hub to have the opportunity to talk about the work that we do in a channel like yours. I'm Daniel Manjarres, as you saw. I'm Colombian, but I live in Sao Paulo for 7 years by now. And I work in the Feira Preta Institute, which means like Black Fair Institute. It is a social organization, and what we do is to promote economic empowerment for African diaspora people in Brazil and also in Latin America and all the countries where you can find African diaspora people, where it's everywhere. So what we like to do is to empower also entrepreneurship in the creative economy for African diaspora people to get to produce money, because we need the money. We've been always delegated to don't have it, and we have resources. So what we do is to work in a systemic way. So we work with individuals, directly with entrepreneurs. We work with entrepreneurs with educational programs, giving access them to credit, giving them support to make digital businesses. But we also work with other social organizations that also works with African diaspora communities. So we empower them in financing and fundraising, in communication, all the areas that a social organization needs to be pretty professional. But that the African diaspora organizations, we are not. We have to fight for everything. We never receive anything for granted. So we work with social organizations too, and we also work with public policy. So we develop data, studies, reports related with the power of the economy of African diaspora people everywhere. This is what we do, and we have different programs to make this all this systemic work possible. We have, for example, the Feira Preta Festival, which is our most important and most beloved project, and I would like to talk to you about it later.
Yeah, sure. I'll of course be glad to listen. So, thank you very much for that question. It's good to set the ball rolling about what Preta Hub does. But so the next question I'm going to be asking you is about, so Preta Hub has been showing some interest in Africa over the past few years, and I did read from the itinerary you sent to me that you have been involved in some projects in Africa. So
yes.
So how has that been? So can you give us more insights about that? How the projects have been working in Africa?
Yeah,
go on.
It is related to the methodology that we use and to the solutions that we have found about how to empower Black entrepreneurs, African diaspora entrepreneurs. And because what we do in the beginning for all the people that we work with is to work in two different areas. We try to make our own self-awareness and self-confidence stronger, because we need to be sure that we are able and capable to have a business, and sometimes we lack of that. And we also work with another thing, which it is related with your question is, and that is that when you are the African diaspora person in the world, you have the power of your ancestry to give you creativity, to give you values of cultural identity and memories that you can have, make your own, and then you can develop a different, relevant business. So that's why in Brazil and also in Latin America, African diaspora people is very keen to look to the continent and try to connect and try to find, the past that was stolen, in that, shameless period of time that preceded us. That is why we are very interested into Africa, and there are also, willings that we have. We also will like to interchange. We would like to create, to sell and buy products from. We like to exchange, and that is something that we are willing to do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you very much for that as well. I appreciate that candid and forthright explanation.
Thank
So,
you.
well, my next question is going to be like again, still Preta helps work in Africa. So, work in Rwanda, in South Africa, and other parts of Africa. So, what has the experience been for you? How has the reception been? Uh, has that sort of encouraged you to perhaps think of more projects in Africa based on your experiences so far?
Yeah, we have been working with different projects. We have the festival Feira Preta, which is the moment that we celebrate. It is 3 days in May here in Sao Paulo. It's 60,000 people together, around music, around fashion, around, food, around entrepreneurships, around wellness and, technology. It's an amazing project. But we have other projects like the AfroLab project. AfroLab is a educational program for entrepreneurs to create tools and new knowledge on administration of businesses. So we did an project for this AfroLab program, in South Africa, with designers, fashion designers from South Africa and Brazil. It was amazing. We exchanged about creativity. What we understood is that African people, and in this case South African people, were full of ideas, full of references, full of history, full of stories, and we were very glad to have that. And from the side of Brazil, we have more, market minds. We have a lot of, strategy, and we have a lot of, research. So the mixing between these two different communities of fashion designers was amazing. It was South Africa, and we did also last year and this year we did, Burkina Faso, Ouagadougou, fashion entrepreneurs, met with, fashion entrepreneurs from Brazil, and they interchanged the same. And it was also, what we talked about was about the Faso Damfani, textile, which is a traditional textile from Burkina Faso, and we talk about, cotton, production of cotton and use of cotton, and it was also amazing. So we work with music, but we also look to other, areas of creativity like fashion and like gastronomy. And we understand that among music, fashion, and gastronomy, there is a lot of connections to do and interchange to do with African people. So we are willing to work in every country in Africa. We are looking to Nigeria right now.
Yeah. Well, I guess that sort of answered the question I wanted to ask next. Like, since you've talked about like a bunch of African countries where you've had projects, are there like any countries you are looking at perhaps in the near future or even in the future as so? But of course, you say you are looking at Nigeria, and it will be very happy to have you around. Nigeria has always had Nigeria has had this long tradition with Brazil, especially Yoruba culture and you know, so it will be a very good ground for
Yes.
culture exchange, in terms of religion, in terms of fashion, in terms of well, perhaps some music as well, because music is
Yeah.
a very core part. So, well, thank you very much for that. So, of course, the next question I'm going to be asking you is that so right now, Kayode and well, the other ACA members are in Morocco at the Visa for Music Festival. And the center
Yes.
of their discussion is going to be cultural exchange projects, especially with hubs from Latino America like Preta Hub. So, in what ways do you think those kind of collaborations? I mean, you've talked about it before. I just want you to give some detail as to how those collaborations can benefit those countries. Both on the African side and well, perhaps on the Latino American side or on the Preta Hub side. So, how does those collaborations? What are the benefits you think those collaborations can bring
Yeah.
to the partners? Yeah.
There are many, many, many benefits. Like people in Latin America is always looking to their past, into their roots to have some security to make a good future. But this is more, like inspirational and very deep meaning of this interchange. It goes beyond, um, you know, as people. I'm talking about communities and and countries. But for what we have, what we are talking about, which is music and creative economy, I think that is the opportunity of a change, of circulate. Um, Artists, designers, musicians, and I think that there is an opportunity to strengthen a market, a South global market, when Latin America is able to sell and buy from Africa, and what we need only is the channel, because the wishing for a change it already exists. So we are trying to fix the points we're going to connect, and then we're gonna change, and we can have a nice new scenario of culture and music, because it's already, because what you see, what you listen in radio, what you see in television is
Yeah.
sometimes it's getting just boring. It's like this, it's more of the same, and there is a lot of things happening in Africa, and there is a lot of things happening in Latin America, but it's been hard to connect, even there is a lot of platforms like that. So market, I think market, movement of money, circulation of artists, industry, development of people. This is what we look for. We are a social impact festival.
Oh, okay. So yeah, thank you very much. So, well, there's a question I wanted to ask you that is not in the notes, but I feel that I should still ask, and it's that, well, based on your own experiences, or perhaps based on perhaps the work you've been doing with Preta Hub in Africa, what do you think perhaps people like the ACA who are professionals in the African music industry, who perhaps are going to be involved at some point in education, in maybe policy advocacy, maybe event planning. So what do you think, what problems have you identified in Africa do you think those people should be tackling? So not just problems, but then as an outsider looking in, so what problems do you think the African culture industry or creative industry faces? And what should perhaps people like ACA who are in government advocacy or who are going to be doing stuff in education, what should they be looking at?
I think that as countries and people who've been relegated from the economy for so many times, and now that we are having the spotlight on us, and we are getting to be more relevant, and we having now a stronger voice, we all in Africa, Latin America, we need we need to engage with a different way of doing things. We don't need to play the game as we've been told. So, and what I think is that everything that we do through art, through culture, through creativity, it needs to have a focus on social development. You know, like there is always a community, there is always a group of people, there is always families behind the work and also enjoying the work of creativity. So you need to take care on those people and make that all this progress and the money that will is circulating now and the money that will be circulating in the future that will be bigger than today, that money goes to everyone. So we need to develop like an industry more an industry able to share the goods, you know. And I think that in Latin American cultures and also in Africa, this sense of share is pretty strong. So we need to keep, you know, together, and we need to get connected and don't lose this connection with our values, and don't play the game and the rules that we've been told. We can have our own way to do things and in a better way to do things. So this is what we need to look for in the
Oh,
industry and in general in this interchange that we're gonna have, that we're having.
oh, okay. So, well, thank you very much for that. At least that's a summary of the issues and what can be done about it. And I'm sure, of course, it's an angle that the ACA itself will be very willing to look at. Um,
Yeah.
Now I think to perhaps what would be like, well, maybe the final question from this end is so beyond what's the work that Preta Hub is doing. So what are your own personal hopes for the increasing collaboration? What are your hopes for the increasing collaboration between Africa and Latino America? What are you expecting to see? What do you think will happen? Is it something that can be productive, or is this something that? So, what do you think? Just your hopes and from a optimistic point of view, or whatever. Now,
Yes. Um, I think that there is this moment when Africa needs to look to the diaspora and embrace it. And I think that this is a great opportunity for both people. I think African diaspora, people who is living in other continents and countries, we have been in different experiences. We have get knowledge, different knowledge. We know different technologies. We have a cultural system which is different from Africa. So we can maybe uh, go back and give the best that we have, the best that we get being in the diaspora to the continent. And I think that people from Africa can also give you know, the sense of ownership and the sense of home that people from African diaspora needs. And so optimistically, I think that we gonna get integrated and we're gonna get to produce a new economy or a different economy that make possible that both continents, Latin America and Africa, you know, like make a pretty strong development in terms of social, political, and cultural context. So it's pretty optimistic, but I think that's the future. That's the future that is happening already.
oh, okay. So yeah, so I think it's been a very great session and very illuminating session talking to you, Daniel. Thanks
Thank you.
for thanks for answering all the questions and thanks for providing very, very great insights. So we're grateful for it. Yeah. So of course we'll talk after we'll continue the conversation. I hope
Sure,
to continue. Okay. So well, once again, it's been a wonderful edition of uh, Arts Connect Africa Industry Conversations, International Markets. And I have been talking with Daniel Manjarres, yeah, from Preta
yeah,
Hub, from Preta Hub in Brazil. So it's been a very great session. I hope you do learn some useful things from the insights he has shared today. And well, until next time, until next time when I come your way again with another edition of Industry Conversations. This is Adebayo Adegbite saying, well, see you around and of course, so thank you very much. Yeah.